George Yousif writes, with the Wonder Woman solo film currently being filmed and with 3 months left for Batman vs. Superman to be released in theaters, do you think it would have been best if Warner Brothers waited after the release of the Batman vs. Superman movie to start filming the Wonder Woman solo movie just to see what the reception of the audiences and fans will be for Gal Gadot's performance as Wonder Woman first? As you know, Warner Brothers are taking a huge risk for casting an inexperienced actress for the most popular superheroine. Also, the fact that we still have yet to see some dialogue from Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in the B vs. S trailer is very concerning.
Well, I mean, there are two sides to this. Let's be fair. Now, on the one side, it's no secret I've always been critical of the decision to cast Gal Gadot. I always have been. I'm not going to be disingenuous about that. Absolutely. I think you should have gone with a trained actress as opposed to somebody relatively brand new. Remember, trained and talented is not the same as being well known. It doesn't, Christopher Pine was, or I should say not Chris Pine, Chris Hemsworth wasn't well known when he was Thor. But the casting people in Hollywood had had their eyes on this guy for years because he's been training since he was a child and was recognized as an uber talented guy. He had trained his whole life. It was just a matter of time before he got his breakout role.
Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley, not known, but she's been an actress her whole life. So it's not a matter of well known. So I've been critical of that casting decision, yes. But one of the biggest criticisms over the past 5, 6, 7 years that I've had of Warner Brothers has been this. You've heard me say this a lot. They don't show any confidence in their properties. They don't show like they have any confidence or belief in their material and what they have. For them now, though, to say, not only are we going to have Suicide Squad in production before Batman v Superman even comes out, we're also going to put Wonder Woman into production before even Batman Superman even comes out. So if you're like me and historically have said one of the big problems with Warner Brothers, they've been too trigger shy. They've never shown confidence in their DC properties. They've always been a very confident studio with all their other stuff. Then how can I look at this as anything but, you know what? Warner Brothers is sacking up and they're showing confidence in what they got. So much confidence that they're not just putting one more movie into production. They got 2 movies in production before Batman v Superman even comes out. Look, what you're saying in the email is absolutely true. Is it risky? It is absolutely risky. No doubt about it. It's a risk. It's a roll of the dice. But sometimes you should roll the dice. Sometimes you should take chances. I believe historically Warner Brothers has always shied away from taking risks and believing in their films. You can't criticize them now for showing confidence, whether they believe it or not. They're showing that they feel confident. They're taking actions that shows they're confident. And I, for one, actually applaud it. Still a risk. It could backfire. Absolutely. But I applaud them for what they're doing because I believe I want to see them change that trend. Anyway, Schnepp, how do you feel about that whole thing?
Well, I agree, but they've even stepped up. They're in production or pre-production on Justice League, which is part 1 and part 2. And they're going to start shooting that, I think, a month after Batman v Superman comes out. That actually goes into actual full production. They're in pre-production right now, so they're all in. They're all in, and I think that confidence makes me feel really good. It makes me feel better about knowing how confident they are with all their other films in production right now, that they've spent the time and they put that effort in. Remember that Batman v Superman was supposed to come out a year ago. They delayed it. They put that extra time in to get the script right, to bring in Chris Terrio, to have Ben Affleck, really all these Oscar winners. You have Jared Leto, the Joker, Oscar winner. You have all these people who are like incredible actors, amazing talents put in. Yeah, we haven't seen Gadot's performance yet. I think maybe they're saving it. Maybe they're like, when you hear her first few lines, you're going to be like, oh my God, maybe they're doing that.
You're so optimistic.
He's jumping. I am being extra optimistic, but that's how I really do feel that way.
You.
I feel that way.
Good for
Good for you. That's a little Ray flavor there. Good for you. It's an inside joke, guys. I am optimistic about it. I think that they're all in, that they're shooting Wonder Woman right now, that they've got Justice League. They even have The Batman being written right now. So it's a really exciting time. If Batman v Superman sucks, all of us are going to be really bummed out.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think they had a big faux pas with that trailer number 2. I think they were like just trying to get people jacked up about the Trinity, but they're like forgetting that you've already implanted this entire thing about Batman fighting Superman. Just follow through with that. We get it. We're going to see the movie. You already sold us. Don't ruin it. Yeah. So I think the third trailer, you're going to see Wonder Woman. You're definitely going to see Princess Diana talk. I feel that they'll definitely reveal her in the third trilogy, if not right up top. They should, at the very least, have her be the very first voice you hear in the entire trailer. That would be my guess.
I think it's a strategy, and it's a smart strategy at that, because you have this movie Batman vs Superman. Regardless of how it's going to be a monster in the box office. Then you're going to have Suicide Squad, which by itself, to have all these villains in this movie is going to, and the response that it got at Comic-Con is going to do really well, and it's going to be a follow up again to. You know that Batman's in it, so they already tease you there that even if it's for a scene, he's in it. You know that it relates to all of it, and to have these villains as the main guys, that's an attraction. Wonder Woman's a property that they've been trying to get off the ground for a very long time. Remember, they had Joss Whedon writing it. There was so much that they wanted to do with this.
They tried a television version.
They tried everything. They know that it's a character that the audience has been asking for a very long time, and they haven't known how to do it, how to crack it. What better way to do it than put her in the first movie that's not in the DCU as Man of Steel, but the first movie that's coming out in 2016 of Batman v Superman, and getting her all this attention by putting her in there, and then you give her a standalone movie, and if it's the one that is the stinker and the one that bombs, it's also why they put Chris Pine in there too, because even if they don't have complete faith off her, they're putting a movie star in there with her as well too. So they're probably very optimistic in the fact that they could sell the Wonder Woman property, but they also know that they have to put it in this time, because if Batman vs Superman stinks, if Suicide Squad stinks, then you're going to start to get in trouble. So might as well say, okay, let's follow the train here, put her in there, and see how she does. And maybe she's the one that saves it all, because then Justice League will pick up the slack. I don't think Batman vs Superman is going to stink. I don't think Suicide Squad is going to. But if all three of those do, then at least Justice League, by putting them all back together, all right, we'll forgive the other three. We want to see them all together. That will happen.
And then that's the big stinker.
Then it's over.
Yeah. Well, you use very not adequate, but appropriate terminology here when you said Warner Brothers is really going all in. And for those of you who don't understand poker, all in is when you take every single chip you got left and put it all in. If you lose, you're out. Right. And if Batman v Superman sucks, Warner Brothers, the DC experiment is screwed.
Right.
Because for some reason there are some people out there that don't like Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel, but you got it's mixed reviews for Man of Steel. So you come off that and go into Batman v Superman and it sucks. You're in a lot of trouble. You've already got other movies in development now that maybe now the public is not going to be interested in anymore. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. But when you push all in, if you win and it works, think about the position that Warner Brothers is going to be in here. Because if they go all in on this, and they have, and Batman vs. Superman is a hit, the fans love it, the critics like it makes big money at the box office, now this is the position they're in. You don't have to wait 2 years for the next DC movie to capitalize on that momentum. They're going to have 2 more ready to come out just
every
like
6
that.
months, every 6
months.
months.
Ready to roll right into Justice League. So it's a gamble. It's a huge gamble. But my God, if the gamble works, and if Batman vs. Superman works, then they are in a position that took Marvel 5, 6, 7 years to get in before Marvel put themselves in a position that they could just roll out films like that. They had to take a gamble. And if it works, it's going to pay big dividends.
And what DC has going for it, too, is that where Marvel, even with Iron Man, was not a fully known character from non-comic book fans.
Yeah.
These characters that DC's working with, a lot of them, even from their television shows, even though they're not the same exact, they're going to be different canon, they're known characters. You have Wonder Woman, very known, hasn't had a movie ever. Superman's, with Batman, even Aquaman because of what Entourage did. Silly enough, because putting Aquaman out there in that show, it got people recognizing these characters. So they have a lot of recognizable characters. They have a step up over what Marvel started with, because Marvel had to develop their, like Ant-Man, as opposed to The Flash. When you put the Flash movie out, those movies, they have a really, I agree with you. I think that if this movie pays off in March, then they really could.
And Warner Brothers really needs it, especially this year. Almost all their films have flopped. So it's
they need it. Yeah, they need it. But here's some people in the chat board are saying some very, very stupid things.
Like?
This is the main one I'm catching. If Batman versus Superman is great, Marvel's dead.
No.
That's
That's
so
going to help
dumb.
more.
That is an idiotic statement.
That's going to help more.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen with Captain America: Civil War? If Batman vs Superman is great in March, right? And all these people go to see it, and they love the movie, and they have a great time at the movies at this big comic book superhero movie. What do you think is going to happen with Captain America: Civil War when it comes out in May?
Even bigger.
It's going to be even bigger.
Even bigger.
WCW, WWF.
Yeah.
This is the thing that the idiot, blind corporate slaves of either DC fanboys or Marvel fanboys, and I'm talking about the idiots who will only swear allegiance to one
Right.
or the other. Okay, most people are sane and understand. Hey, we can just enjoy all of them, but this is the thing that they just fail to grasp. You know who is cheering the most for a successful and good Batman versus Superman movie? Kevin frickin' Feige is cheering because he wants this superhero genre to thrive and be healthy, and a rising tide raises all ships, brother. They want Batman versus Superman to succeed so bad.
Right. Swim in our pool. Don't pee in it.
Exactly. Makes the pool
That's
even
a damn
bigger.
good analogy.
Yeah,
Well
I love
said,
it.
sir. Well said. So yeah, this whole notion of Batman versus Superman is good. It's going to shake. No, it's not. It's going to make Marvel even bigger and better. And if they once they put out Captain America: Civil War and it crushes and it's awesome, that's just going to make people look forward to that next comic book superhero movie, the Suicide Squad or whatever it is that's coming out next. This is a thing. Marvel and DC are cheering for each other. You better believe it. The only time they're not is if they're doing something stupid like having Batman versus Superman and Captain America: Civil War scheduled to come out on the same day.
Right. Then
Which
there's
they
a little big game of chicken and
which
somebody
they fixed. They
so.
fixed, but that was the only time they won't be cheering for each other. You better believe that. Anyway, is there another one?
There's one. Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.